gentlemen, welcome back to the MaxBet podcast, a podcast dedicated to gaming.
We're your hosts. I'm here with Landon Michael Jones, and I'm Mike McKiskey. Let's get started.
Let's roll. Welcome back to the MaxBet podcast. We have a great episode for you today.
Yeah, man.
Big guy's coming in.
The big guy, my brother from another mother, 6'8", Justin Moore. Now, his height is not relevant other than the fact that it's cool. So he's just a very seasoned, smart casino professional. Was introduced to us by our friends at Marker Trax as part of our Cashless gaming series. So we'll talk to him about Cashless, obviously his thoughts. He implemented it at Rivers, Philadelphia when he was the GM. And we'll just ask him a bunch of other questions like we do.
I was going to ask him if he wanted to shave his head for the St. Trax Foundation, but he came in with down to the wood. He's already pre-shaved.
He was ready to go. But you're going to shave your head.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That'll be fun. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's the right move.
It's the right
help
move.
The kids do the thing. I can't wait to see you.
With a shaved head?
Yeah, because that's like your signature.
Is it?
Right? I don't know. Yeah. It'll
I
grow
was
back.
looking back at photos when I was a kid with the shaved head. I look good.
I don't believe you're going to look, I don't think you're going to look bad.
Yeah.
Like I think, and it's funny, I think most of the guys that did it last year, we found out our heads look fine.
Yeah.
Because I think for me anyway, I don't speak for everybody, but I was like, I'm going to look like a ridiculous with my head's going to be lumpy or so. Like, because how often do you think about the shape of your head?
Yeah.
Probably not often, right? And then you shave your head, you're like, uh-oh, now I got to think about this. And so I don't assume that. Like, I assume your head will look just totally fine. You'll be 2 inches shorter.
Yeah.
Because you won't have the top poof. But I bet knowing you, it'll grow back. It'll grow back by January is my feeling for you. Like, it'll probably be like so fast.
Yeah, my hair grows pretty quick. Yeah. But anyways, it'll be fun. Yeah, I wish it was like at the beginning of the summer.
Do it for the kids.
The only thing that I hate about it is it's right before G2E. So it's like, if your head is lumpy, you're SOL, dude.
Hey, lumps, sell me something. Yeah, that'll be, that would be
I'm wearing a hat if that's the case.
Just why? What's Atlanta doing over there with a backwards hat? Well,
I'll come with like a cool Kentucky Derby hat.
I'll just get like a St. Patrick's hat because I never want to know exactly what happened. Just be like, hey. Oh, man.
Say something.
Do it for the kids. And if you guys are out there thinking, I would never shave my head, but I would happily pay to see Landon shave his head, check the MaxBet LinkedIn page or just go, it's like stpatrick's.com, MaxBet Media. Donate to the page. You can.
I think I still need to do a number to make it. I'm down, but I still need to set a number to make it happen.
Yeah, my advice, set a low number because then you'll get to it, right? Not saying you shouldn't aspire
What's a low
higher,
number to you?
Like $5,000.
Okay.
Right. And then I think people will hit that.
I was thinking more on the 10. I think we could get 10.
Here's what happened. We can get 10. I'm not saying I'm not saying let's not raise money. My point is what I noticed last year was there was like a weird thing where once I got close to the number, people were like, oh, I want to be the one that gets you over the number. So then I got a huge wave of donations. And then I think you can, I don't know if we probably look into this, you can move the bar. Oh, we hit that, let's go a little higher. And then people see that like you're this close and then they want to help more.
Well, if Andrew Burke from Blueberry is listening, because he said he was donating.
Yeah, he's a donator.
And he wants to shave. He wants to be the shaver of the LJ hairpiece.
He wants to shave your head.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's why I was going a little higher.
There's got to be a price for that.
Blueberry's doing pretty low right now.
Did Lopez shave somebody? Lopez paid to shave somebody's head.
I think Andrew.
Oh, did he shave Andrew's head?
I think that was the deal.
And I think, and David, to his credit, I mean, because he's pre-donated, right? He's already kind of shaved his head normally, but he donated, I think it was $1,000 cash that day.
Yeah.
Like, and I think he had already donated separately, but that day stepped up and donated even more. So definitely a bonus if you could have paid.
In my own
and you didn't get to shave anyone's head.
Hank got half of that, dude. I was like little guy Hank, dude. I was dropping hundos in his bucket.
Never. That was a proud day.
Yeah,
that was fun. So we're, that'll be a good time.
Yeah. Sweet.
Landon, coming at you live.
I say we jump into this podcast because it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Just pumped for it.
Let's do it. We want to remind everybody we are here as always in the Light and Wonder Studios.
Correct.
This is a good time, state of the art, microphones and all.
Check, Mike.
I'm excited, man. So before we jump in, I do think we should jump in, but at the same time, G2E is coming.
Yes.
You're going to be bald. That's not really the point of my question. Are you? But I feel like we should remind everybody. Are you excited for the show? I mean, it's like probably your 15th G2E. I mean, it's got to be somewhere close.
I think G2E is always fun. It's good to get everybody together. I'm excited to see our booth this year. It seems like we got some big changes coming up.
Good ones, I think. Yeah.
I'm always excited to go to G2E.
Same. Like I feel like this year I got like more energy about it.
It's like the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The NBA.
The NBA. It's like
wow. Okay.
It's like our Super Bowl, is what I should say.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to
Super
say it's
Bowl
like the
makes sense.
championships.
It's
I got
not our
lost.
basketball league. Yeah.
I'm not a sports guy.
buddy.
Yeah. If you know me, you know I don't care about sports. And you're like, that's kind of weird. Not really. I grew up snowboarding.
We should meme that.
Yeah.
This is our NBA.
Yeah.
No one's going to have any clue what that means. Like, what? Like, how does that
I'm not a starting forward. I can promise you that.
No. You know what's interesting about that? I am probably short in that regard. Like when you think of like Kobe, who was not considered a like tall by league standards, like 6'8".
Yeah.
MJ, Michael Jordan, one of the best forwards of all time, probably the greatest player of all time, 6'6", my height, right?
Yeah.
So you go, these are the short positions.
Yeah.
Not saying there's not guys that are 6 foot that do it, but like most of them, it's like just really tall.
I think the shortest guy in the NBA was like 5'11", though.
Is it Muggsy?
Yeah.
He was pretty short. Yeah. So it can be done. You could make it. I guess you could have if you practiced when you were a kid. But now,
not if I shave my head. Because I'm losing 2 inches.
Maybe
I already wear bigger shoes just so I can get that extra inch, bro.
Put those on.
Yeah.
Put those extra. You got to get extra shoes.
It's a thing.
I'm proud of you for admitting that. There's a lot of guys that might not admit to putting lifts in their shoes.
Got nothing
or
to
whatever,
lose.
or putting extra soles. Yeah, you're married now.
It's the guy with the inch shoes.
Yeah, she loves you. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Now we should get into it.
Let's jump.
Let's go.
Jump on it.
Bye now.
We have 2 tall guys in the house today.
2 tall guys and 1 landed. That's
only 1 landed.
That was good. Well, it's funny because so first of all, Justin, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Great to be here.
Many people probably know you, former executive with stations here in Vegas, former GM of some casinos in Philly, which we'll get to. Now you're doing some financial consulting, so been a little bit of everything in gaming. Mm-hmm. I'd seen him online, right? Because I know you've done other interviews, right? But again, it's like the culture of Zoom, where you go, well, Landon's a great guy. I've only ever met him online. So then when I meet you, you're inevitably different height than I thought. So I can't say how many people meet me and go, holy shit, dude, I didn't expect that. Or probably with what you get, or maybe you get the other way, right? So
it's fun when we walk next to each other and it's just like Biggie Smalls and people are like, this doesn't make sense.
Right, that's what we get. Like this doesn't line up naturally.
Mm-hmm. So welcome to Vegas.
Hey, it's great to be back. Yeah.
Do you live here now, or you?
I do.
Okay, so got it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so now I'm just going to go in random life questions. So lived in Vegas, moved to Philly, obviously career opportunity, and now you're back. What's the best part about being back versus there, and maybe what do you miss? Like, is there pros and cons to coming home?
There is. So we were season ticket holders with the Phillies.
Oh man.
So definitely missing that. Fell in love with the team, and obviously there was Las Vegas ties to that team.
Yeah.
With
Bryce Harper and
Bryson Stott.
Yeah.
So that was great. But this is home. This is where all my relatives are, family's here, and everything. We left Las Vegas for an opportunity actually in upstate New York, which is near the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and that's where my wife's family is. So we actually left for family, and we are back for family.
There you go.
Very exciting.
Yeah, family matters.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Family does matter.
That's it.
Yeah.
How you enjoying the heat?
You know what?
Didn't miss that.
Actually, it's different, right?
Yeah.
So all the things that they say about our dry heat here is actually quite true.
Yeah.
You know, there were days in Philly where it'd be 92 degrees outside, and I'd be melting.
Yeah.
Just straight.
Yeah. Oh, back east, you mean?
Yeah. In Philadelphia, it just would be a whole different.
Yeah, a whole
different
world.
heat, and so it's fine. It's like just walking through a hairdryer. It's fine.
So we do international, right? So we have different people that we talk to, and so I was chatting with some folks out of our UK office, and weather tends to easy small talk. Hey, it's hot. Yeah, it's hot, and they go. So I'm trying to do the conversion. So I look it up, and it's 115 that weekend, which is insane. So I go, oh, by the way, they go, how hot is that? I go, it's 46 degrees Celsius. The line goes silent. They go, you can't have gotten that right. I'm like, no, I did the math. 115. They go, yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Like they were like, we would all die. Like we would all just probably just not cease to exist at that point, right?
But imagine you get used that to with humidity though. It would be, you couldn't do it.
And it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah.
And there's so much water back there that it just builds up real quick. And next thing you know, you're just drenched.
Yeah.
So, I don't miss that at all.
That's right.
But yeah, it's great to be back.
You got some gnarly bugs back there too. Not that we need to make this about the pro West Coast versus East Coast living scenario, but I just remember going back there going, don't go in the long grass, you're going to get Lyme disease. Don't go over here, you're going to get this. And I was like, out here, the dry heat kills it all. You got very few bugs out here.
Yeah. That's right. Mosquitoes are terrible where I was at. So
that's right.
Isn't Philadelphia like one of the hardest states to get things approved in?
Gaming wise?
Gaming wise.
Get back to the actual topics.
You know, the gaming wise, PGCB is, you know, you just work with them, right?
Yeah.
Just work with them, be a good partner. And, you know, they are a little slower.
Yeah.
You know, and especially where I was at, I got firsthand of that because I was so close to Atlantic City in New Jersey, only an hour drive away. And you could go down to Atlantic City, walk the slot floors there, and see all of the latest and greatest new slot titles, especially with the persistence features. And I could not get them in Philly. So there was some disadvantages there. Eventually, I'd get them. It just would take a little longer for those gaming approvals.
So, and then so for those that aren't as familiar, so Justin, when you were referencing, you were the general manager of Rivers, Philadelphia, right? So right downtown, so it's an hour outside of Atlantic City. How, like, was your players notice that? Like, was it one of those things where they go, I'm going to be here today, but I'm going this weekend to Jersey because they got the newest Huff and Puff or whatever game that they're looking for. They know they get newer. Did you feel the impact of that, I guess, as an operator?
I did. And there were, especially the hottest, best titles, we definitely heard about it. So it became a competitive disadvantage.
Interesting. I would like, but some ways maybe helpful because you go, okay, we always come in as a vendor, go, we got 10 new games. Yeah, they're all great. And then you go, well, actually, they've been over there for 6 months. Only 3 of those are great, so I'm going to buy those. Like, did it maybe help you spend a little your money more smartly, I guess? But yeah, that's interesting. It's got to be frustrating though, right there.
Well, you know, I've learned a while back. You just focus on what you can control.
Yeah,
that's an aspect of my job that I could not control. So you know, I just kind of moved on.
Can't lose sleep over it.
That's
exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What was it like being a casino executive in downtown Philadelphia? I have not spent a ton of time in Philadelphia, so to be fair, I'm probably speaking from an uninformed perspective, but I would imagine it's pretty wild.
It's wild. It's tough. Let me look. Anyone that's been to an Eagles home game, you know that's a hard city.
Yeah, right. They boo their own guys.
That's correct.
Exactly.
And when you think about like hardened personality types, how does that translate to a hospitality culture? Right, it really doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
So getting your own staff to really embrace hospitality and culture and everything else is a challenge.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then 2, you're asking them to cater to a customer base that's also very hardened. And that could be a challenge sometimes, you know.
That was the political answer.
Correct.
They're tough. Everybody's tough, yeah.
Yes. You know, I learned a few new words to my vocabulary when I was in Philadelphia just from dealing with the customer base. But, you know, the location is right downtown Philadelphia, right next to the Ben Franklin Bridge, right on the Delaware River. So the actual location is breathtaking.
Awesome.
It's amazing. If you go 2 blocks inward, though, it could be a challenge, and I would recommend driving the streets with your car doors locked and the windows are up.
Go fast.
Like being the GM of that property, everything that happened must have hit your desk.
Everything.
Is there a story you can share with us that will just shock?
You can extract names. You don't have to say it was Landon's fault, but who
the people want to know.
Yeah, people want to know.
And so do we. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do a day's top 10, but I will tell you, like instantly, you know, all these flashbacks just came through my mind as you proposed that question. I would say one of the wildest ones was. One time I get a call from surveillance that says, hey, there's a guy that just pulled into valet the wrong direction. He's got bullet holes written all through his car, and he's bleeding. He's been shot. And so our valet driver, he takes off his own sweatshirt and wraps it around this guy as a tourniquet. And next thing you know, all the media is on the property saying a man was just shot in the valet of Rivers Casino. And I'm like, no, that did not happen.
He came to us with the bullet holes. Yeah.
Why he didn't drive
We're the saviors.
He brought his own bullets, yeah.
And, you know, look, I know that we provide really good service at Rivers Casino, but when someone gets shot, usually they drive to the hospital, not to Rivers Casino.
Good point. Yeah,
he's going to gamble his last dollar.
You know how obvious that statement is? Did not even occur to me.
Yeah.
Like, why did he drive there? I just assumed that. So you're like the closest big shiny building. So it's like, I need somebody to help me.
It was gift day. He didn't want to miss his gift.
That's
right. His free beach chair.
No, he knew the security would help. He assumed the security would help, and we'd call ambulance. So ambulance came down, took care of him, got him to the hospital. Well, 2 weeks later, the same dude's at a gas station blocks away from the casino, and he is shot and killed. You know, so they finished the deal. We had a lady that went through our parking lot and just drove through the parking lot and started running everything over that she could see. She ran over a person, she hit multiple cars, and then she went into the city. And then just ran over, killed a man in a crosswalk and ran over another one that was just riding a bicycle, just for no reasons. So those are types of things that I've, as a GM, have never.
Well, there's no training for that.
There's no book. There's no training. And the security team out there, they did a fabulous job handling it, and surveillance is always on it. And but when I put in metal detectors at the casino, that was celebrated. That was a great thing. Typically, you walk into a casino, see metal detectors, you probably turn right around and leave. You're thinking, oh, this place must not be safe. But no, we put them in, and then people instantly said, oh, thank you. Now I feel safer.
Makes sense.
So it's just a different market, different dynamic. But there were extra challenges to that role that I'd never really experienced elsewhere.
That press conference got to be weird.
Can you imagine having to go do that press conference after you just get to work and maybe you're having a bad day or a good day? It doesn't matter. And you're like, hey, by the way, in 5 minutes, the media's here and you have to present on behalf of Rivers.
Go explain that he wasn't shot here. No, that's wild.
Well, I actually had probably the best PR guy in Pennsylvania, and he was all over it. And he set them all
in a hurry, I would imagine.
You got to have a guy.
Yes, he was amazing.
That is...
I wouldn't know what to do with my head. I'd be like,
what is happening? So I'm going to ask a stupid question because it came to me and I want to know the answer. So Rivers, you mentioned this property is near the Delaware River. Mm-hmm. I know the one in Pittsburgh is near, I don't know the name of the river. There's a river right there. Do they only build next to rivers? Is that kind of the brand cachet, or is that just coincidental? I was listening on, this is probably a stupid question, but I want to know.
It's a great question, actually, and it really evolved to that point. The property I ran in upstate New York, which is in this little town called Schenectady outside of Albany, right along the Erie Canal,
I'm calling
Mohawk
it a river.
River.
Yeah, that sounds like a river.
Yeah, that's absolutely
like
a river, Mohawk River. And then the one in Des Plaines is actually sitting over water. And the first one was Rivers Casino Pittsburgh. That's where the first name came from.
Isn't it like three rivers that converge, right? It's like a whole thing,
Exactly. So Pittsburgh's, that's very famous, Three River Stadium. There's a lot of river connection in Pittsburgh. And so they had that name. And then the next one to open was the one in Philadelphia. And they actually called that Sugar House because it was built on an old sugar refinery. And then it came time to build the one in Des Plaines, and they didn't know what to call it. So they liked the name in Pittsburgh, so they just call it Rivers. So it just kind of, that branding really just evolved. And they're not purposely looking for sites along rivers. But back east, a lot of, the rivers were always used for things we don't even want to talk about. And now it's a new day. And back east in a lot of those types of cities, they want to revitalize the riverfront property instead of it being so industrial. It's no longer needed to be moving, product along. It's the public wants. They want to be near the water. And so Rivers sees that as an opportunity to say, hey, we'll come into your city. We'll revitalize this piece of land that's just sitting there vacant, and it's usually doesn't look very good. And we'll turn it into an economic engine for you. And it just evolved that way. But it's a great question, and it's a really neat story behind it.
Well, it's just a weird light bulb moment that went off because I was like, I haven't been to Rivers, Philly. I guess I was there when it was Sugar House. So I didn't connect the dots, but I'm like, I've been to Pittsburgh. I know the river's there because you have lunch. There's a restaurant that you see the whole thing. Like, it's a really beautiful property. I'm going, okay, just going to make sure this is not the...
Sounds like there's an opportunity in Laughlin.
The river down there? Not for long. We're drying up here, pal. But we'll see. Maybe somewhere up and down the Mississippi, you'd be fully funded. But, oh, that's wild. So, the gunshots. So, we'd be remiss if we didn't actually start saying, hey, thanks to Marker Trax, by the way, because they set this up. So, we're kind of just going into some chit-chat. But they actually brought us on, or they connected us as part of our Cashless series. We're talking to folks that have used Cashless. We had, Gary Ellis, the founder of Marker Trax and Coin, and then we had Omer and Gary from Sightline and Coin to chat, and they said, we'd probably give an operator's perspective here. And then I guess separately, I know you kind of moved into some investment consulting. We don't have to get all the way into that. But I guess speaking first as an operator and then second as somebody who advises folks that are investing, like, what's your take on cashless? Did you use it? Did you install cashless gaming at any of the properties you were working at?
Yeah, so with Rush Street Gaming, Rivers Casino, we were a Synchros house. Synchros offers the money clip, which is that cashless wagering opportunity. And that was really where I first got my first taste of it. And that was before COVID, before cashless was such a forefront. And wasn't something that really resonated with the guests when we first put that out there. Is why do I need this, right? But when we put it in at Philly, there were some of our stronger players that said, "Yeah, I definitely want this because now I don't have to walk around with all this." Well,
if it's Gunshot City, then you definitely don't want that. You're like, "Yeah, you can't hack my phone," right?
That was a real thing, and the beauty part of that property is you could park in the parking garage. Go into VIP parking, which was gated. Take an elevator straight into the high limit room, and now I have cashless, so I'm very secure, very safe, great experience, and that went very well for us there. But really wanted to step up our game though as far as cashless goes in Philadelphia, and provide our better players and some of those mid-level players too. Just a different option for them. And that's really where Marker Trax came in. I had always been keeping my eye on Marker Trax really since their inception. Because they would be camped out at G2E at the Konami booth, they kind of paired with Synchros. And the guys that run Marker Trax, I used to work for or with. I can tell you firsthand, they're amazing. They're operators, right? And they understand the rigors and what it takes to be competitive. And they themselves, they do everything they can to set you up for success. So getting Marker Trax into Philadelphia was really important. Proud to say we were first to market there, and in the entire state. We got that approved through PGCB, which was awesome. And the guests are really resonating with that. They see they see the benefits with it. They see the benefits of having cashless, and it's also credit. So they can get that money real quick and go off and play, and not have to worry about having cash on them. So that's the real benefit.
Did you see a massive increase on drop when you brought Marker Trax in? Because I'm assuming with like a rougher crowd, you got people coming in with credit, getting credit limits and then leaving the casino. And I guess Marker Trax.
Well, you can't do that with Marker Trax.
100%. So my point is, did you see like an increase in your drop or increase in spending in the casino?
Well, unfortunately, when I left Rivers Philly, it was right when we were launching Marker Trax. So did a lot of work to get them in there.
You're the good ancestor. You're like, look what I've given you, and I'm leaving.
This was one of my parting gifts for the property and helping them enhance. But I do know that so far it's been going well, and the guests really see it as it's another benefit to your rewards program. And if you can get that in place before your competitors, it's a huge benefit. So that was really what we were. That was the vision for bringing in Marker Trax and having that cashless credit option available to players. And it really develops, it's designed to develop your mid-level player because, your top players, they're probably going to go natural casino credit. These are your mid-range that are looking at anywhere between 500 to 5,000 in credit, and just having that ease and comfort to just not skip the ATM fees. That's a huge benefit for them.
I guess that's a good point.
And then also just have that available cash, and then the amounts are at a level where it's easy for them to pay it back.
You mentioned the loyalty benefits when somebody signs up. Let's say I go and I'm new and I maybe played a few dollars in cash, had a good time, and now I want to take credit because I don't have it on me. I just want to borrow from you. If I don't have a card, do I get one in this process? Like, is that automatic? Because you mentioned it's linked to or somehow tied in with your system. Is it kind of auto-generated? Mike just came in from Vegas, wants credit. Boom, here's a card with that. Is that how you're doing the loyalty, or what are some of the other benefits?
Obviously that's part of the benefits, right? We're going to be able to build up our database even stronger with this loyalty program. And so it's really that part's up to the operator. Marker Trax needs to know who that person is, but for us, it was really important to say, look, if you want to be part of this benefit, it's just with the club only, so you're going to have a card and be part of the database. But we felt that the benefit was so strong that we decided to launch it at one of our tier events where people are being celebrated for being our top 2 tiers. Here's this new benefit to you. And roll it out. And it was impactful because, again, we were first to market in Pennsylvania, so we were the only casino in that entire area, including Atlantic City.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That had Marker Trax in it.
Take that, Jersey. That's right. I just feel like every now and again you throw one back.
We got one on you.
I couldn't get some of the persistence games, but I got the Marker Trax.
That's right. Hey.
Do you miss it? You miss the operations side?
Of course. And the operations side is all I've known for the last 20 plus years. So absolutely.
And how are you adapting into this new role?
I was going to say, what made you go? So again, we just kind of talk like everybody knows, but so operator 20 years, executive. Now you've kind of moved into a consulting role with Oaktree Financial, right? Oaktree Capital, excuse me, financial kind of investment firm. So I'm assuming I get why they like you, because they're like, we must be looking at gaming. You know the ins and outs. Like, what made you go that way? Like, did you just go, I've always wanted to do some investment stuff, or?
You know, everything's in relationships, right?
Sure.
And when I first met those guys, I was just blown away. You know, just solid the earth people. They're amazing to work with, incredibly intelligent. Yeah. If you look at, you know, every single person I meet from Marker Trax, or from Oaktree, if you look at like their education and their resume, it's just these are all stars, right? Yeah. And that's who I get to work with now on this project. And it's exciting to be able to take everything I've learned in operations over the last 20 plus years and then help these guys make great decisions on investments. So, and it's everything. And because of all that experience, I know exactly which rocks to kick over to really find, you know, some benefit or residual incomes or new revenue streams or whatever. So, to me, it's very exciting. Yes, it's very different. Yeah. You know, my day used to be dictated by over 1,000 different people wanting to spend time with me. And now I'm figuring out how to spend my day. And
interesting.
It's a little different.
Congratulations. I feel
Thank
like
you.
I should say. Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
nice
we're happy you spent your time with us today.
Yeah, exactly. That's big.
Yeah, no,
that's huge. So I guess in that regard, how does that work then? So are you just kind of out there going, hey, team, right? I was going to say, hey, boys, was probably a lot of smart women there too. So like, hey, guys, we should look at this. Like, do you flag to them, hey, you know, I've been hanging out, and I'll just pick on Andrew. Blueberry's doing some cool things in game. Maybe we buy them. And then they have, or are they just going, hey, look, we've run some analysis. We want you to go look at these 4 things. Or is it a mix of both? Like, who's driving the bus and where are you sitting, I guess?
Well, they're really targeted on one specific set of assets, and that's where I'm spending all of my time. Yeah. So they might be looking at other gaming opportunities, but I'm not really part of that.
Sure.
What I'm looking at is, okay, here's some assets, and in my opinion, based on my experience and what I think would be the right thing, here's the direction we should go.
Sure.
So if you're looking to reinvest in these assets, I really strongly believe this is the direction you should take.
Got
it. Definitely part of that is looking at, you know, slot capital and hotel product and restaurants and so forth.
So this is if they're evaluating to buy like a casino or build. I'm assuming they would buy one, but you know, that you get in that space. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you give them the old what to look for. Right?
That's right.
Because I can imagine these incredibly smart guys you're talking about probably know everything there is to know about finance and the market, right? Like more than even I could probably process. But then you go, so what would make a successful casino? They go, I have no idea. And that's why they call you and go, Justin, what are we seeing here? Where are the red flags? Because I think when you walk the floor and you know it for 20 years, you go, yeah, this is the equivalent of toothpaste in the wall, like when you're moving out, right? Like you're using that to get your deposit back. You go, let's avoid those guys.
I can imagine that could be frustrating too, though. Like if Justin had an idea that he thought was going to be profitable, and then they decided not to go that route, and he's like, this is the one. We need to go this route. It would be frustrating, right? Because not everything's going to go through. And
that's right. But so far, they're very interested in the ideas I'm presenting to them and the directions we want to go. And I have not heard that 2-letter word yet of no.
That's good.
So, so far, so good.
3-letter words only.
Do you get to hire other team members? Do you have anybody under you that you're kind of bringing on to?
No, right now I'm an army of one, and
he's a 6'6" veteran of the 6'8".
6'8".
Oh man, I must have been.
Hey, you're taller than mine.
He flexed on me. That's good. Were you playing college basketball or anything, or what did you do with the 6'8"?
By the time I was done with high school basketball, it was a job to me, and I just never enjoyed it.
I get it.
And also, I didn't go to college either. So.
Okay. Well, that's probably even more impressive. Yeah, I mean,
he went to the College of Gaming. You worked for
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'll put you through school right there.
Yeah, I did. I started off with Station Casinos as a food server in an Italian restaurant, and just worked my way up.
Sorry, I just had this idea of rigatoni being come from the sky, right? 6'8" guy just hammering pasta to the table.
Yes, your vision of that is 100% accurate. So when I was a food server, just obviously personality sells, and you're working for tips, and so what I would do is I carry the trays on fingertips with my arms straight up in the air, which is I can reach 9 feet. So
that's amazing.
Pasta was flying through the air, and I did wherever I could. But Stations has an amazing program where they take people, leaders, and teach them the slot business, and just create like this management development program. And I was a foodie for life. I was working my way up to be a food and beverage director, and that was the dream and the goal. And I had a mentor who said, "No, go to slots. If you know food and beverage, if you learn the slot side, they could make you a general manager of these places." And I said, "Well, that's crazy, but
let's try it.
Let's try it. You know what else is to do?" So they selected me actually through interview process, and I was able to go. And it turned out I was much better at understanding the slot operations than I ever was at food and beverage. Yeah. And it just was second nature. It really was. And so I my career just blew up from there.
Yeah, interesting.
Was a slot director for only 18 months until they made me assistant GM at Green Valley Ranch Resort.
Must have been doing something right.
Yeah, jeez, so it was great.
What advice would you give to another 6'8" food server that's working in an Italian restaurant?
They're going to point to me. I'm like, I don't know
what advice would you give to someone that's maybe listening to this that wants to progress in their career?
Well, look, the gaming industry really values experience, but also how you treat people. Yeah. It really is. It's just a people business. Whether you're running the slot department, food and beverage, or table games, you're managing people. And if you could develop that skill set, that would be huge. But really set goals for yourself and know that this is an industry that really looks for people that are just going to work hard and provide a great experience for guests. So, think about the industry in the casinos. They build. My line is, we build nothing but cheeseburgers, right? Like there's no product being built. We're just providing a good time.
Yeah, we're not launching spaceships.
Yeah. So in that industry, yes, can a person go from a food server all the way up to running a casino without a college education? Absolutely, they can. So if you're looking to better yourself, if you're looking to just grow in your career from an hourly team employee all the way on up. Set goals for yourself and really just get into the leadership roles.
This is one that we really haven't discussed previously, but I think it's an interesting topic. Going back to your point is like how you treat others, right? And we've seen it so many times in this industry. This industry is small and they protect their own, right? Mm-hmm. We look at even slot directors, not naming names, of people that were harder to deal with and rude to almost slot vendors, and when they lose their job, other operators are calling those slot vendors saying, "Hey, how was X, so and so," and they don't get a great review, and then you see those people not being able to get a job, right? And it's just be kind, right? It doesn't take anything to be kind to someone.
You can always control your attitude.
You can always control your attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the last slot director I hired. I called up every slot rep because we shared the same slot representatives from every manufacturer. So I called them up and asked them, "Hey, give me the 411," and everything was a glowing review. We hired the guy. So 100%. That's our industry. That's what we do.
It's a cool industry.
It works both ways because like when I was sales manager, man, you'd call the operator, "Hey, this sales guy's applying. What is he like? Oh, he never shows up. Blah blah blah. Whatever." Right? You go, "Okay, well maybe not him. Oh, she's amazing. Good, hire her." Right? Like it's just the whole thing. So.
Yeah, people business it's truly important. And so when I worked at Green Valley Ranch Resort, I was assistant GM. The general manager is Carol Thompson, and she is a huge part of the Marker Trax team, right? Yeah. So she's the CMO, and
she set this up. So shout out Carol.
Yeah. So we got to send her. So her and I, we were an amazing team together. Worked really well, and the fact that she's with Marker Trax, that told me too. Like, okay, I really need to look closely at this product. Yeah. And what the benefits of working with Marker Trax and getting them set up is really a lot of it comes from Carol and her team.
Right.
I've had a lot of different implementation from different vendors, right? From the slot side to marketing, food and beverage, whatever. And most of them give you the product, tell you how to run it, and then they're out. Right. Yep. That's it. Yeah. And Marker Trax, they were on us like we reported to them. Like every single week, it's like, "Okay, guys, where are you at? Because we need to get we need to get these things done. These things." And it was fantastic. As a general manager, I was looking at this going, "Thank you, because you're helping me hold these guys accountable for getting these tasks done, so that we can get Marker Trax launched and operating." And they were fantastic every single week. What do you got? If there's nothing, no updates, cool, we're good. And leading up to the launch, so much marketing support, so much creative ideas. Yep. And then once they were launched, it didn't stop from there. You know, like a lot of vendors would do. They would have meetings, look at the performance, come up with ideas, brainstorms with us. How can we get this business to moving in the right direction, because it was so key for them. So to me, that's a part that I was blown away with. Like they really separated themselves from other vendors or other opportunities by the customer service that they gave us.
That makes sense. So I want to tie back to that for a second. So you mentioned, with not specific to Marker Trax, you said if your credit program is not, if you don't have enough credit outstanding, like you're not owed enough money, it's not, you're maybe not doing enough. Like what is the, like, help me understand that, right? Because again, like part of me is like, that seems like a very high risk bucket. But maybe you go, well, it's not as risky as it might seem to I'll call it a non-operator outsider. Like, what's the value of that? Why is that the truism?
Well, because, you know, people that are outstanding with their credit, that percentage to your total credit dispensed is very small. Okay, so if you've got if your only outstanding credit balance is like $1,000, okay, well, that tells you you're not issuing enough credit.
Sure.
And if you're not issuing enough credit, people either don't know about your program, you don't have the right player mix, you know, you need to talk to player development. Is player development telling guests, because really it's a benefit. Where else can you go and borrow money for free? And still, you know, have your entertainment and then pay it back whenever you want. You know, that you can't do that with a movie theater. You know, so it is a huge benefit. And now with Marker Trax being cashless, that's even more convenient. So that's a big piece to it. You gotta your casino host team, they've got to be explaining the benefits to credit, and your team has to not look at it like it's this taboo thing. It really isn't. All you're doing, you know, if you think about it, you're freeing them from the ATM fees, which are very costly. You know, I just
more and more.
I just paid $10 the other day. You know, I was like, wow, damn. You know, that's the highest win per unit on that floor.
That's right.
ATM machine.
100% profit.
You know, you're saving them from those fees. You're giving them cash right in their hand. That's what they want. You know, it's to give them what they want.
So in your traditional credit, and maybe this varies, like what's your typical entry point? So obviously I know Marker Trax starts to address, you said like tier 2 or kind of the mid-tier player, meaning you could probably do $100 on Marker Trax, and that's a normal credit. You probably wouldn't do $100 in your traditional. So like what's your entry point for, is it the 5,000 marker? Is it higher than that? Like what's your traditional credit entry point if you're really going to do it?
For traditional credit, 5,000 is probably the lowest
Even
I would do.
And maybe I just set you lower. Maybe it's higher than that. I don't know.
No, but again, you know, a lot of the East Coast credit, some jurisdictions credit's not even approved, right? So it's a little different back there. So when I was here in Vegas, you know, smaller amounts were entry level were about $5,000, and they went up and up from there.
You brought up a good point about training your employees to adopt this new technology of credit, right? Which isn't really that new, but it's more new in the gaming space. And we know, being in gaming, if you're just the table game side, if your dealers don't like the game they're dealing or they haven't been properly trained on it, it has zero success. Like it will be no chance. So that's probably true in this space as well. Like you have to get your employees to adopt this new technology or be trained on what the capabilities are or what the benefits are of it. So what is that like, training an entire staff and getting them engaged
to use like the Marker Trax
product?
Well, that's part of the Marker Trax program, is they come in and help us with that and getting those employees engaged, and they do the training right there with us. They send that, they have an actual trainer. That's what she does.
Oh, really?
She comes in and, you know, we set up the meetings right with the operations teams, and then the trainer rolls up and gives them the program. The toughest challenge I found on the East Coast, I don't think it would be that way here, but on the East Coast, you know, credit, like I said, is kind of a taboo thing. Oh, you're pushing gaming on people.
Well, that's the other side of it.
And I say, well, that's our business, right? That's what we do. You know, that's like hiring a marketing person that doesn't gamble. You know, they're not. You know, so you know, for us, it was really educating our own staff, saying, no, look, this is we're providing yet another service. That's all we do here. We provide a good time. This is just another means for people to be able to enjoy the casino the way they want to.
And we vetted that they can afford this level. So it's not like you're saying I'm giving $5,000 to a guy that makes $1,000 a month or something, that you just would be totally backwards. it's bad for you. It's definitely bad for them. So it's a little bit more. It's vetted. It's not just like sprinkling sugar for the kids. Just, I don't know what the analogy would be, but like
not good.
Not that. Yeah.
No. Look, responsible gaming is incredibly important, and we respect that. We monitor that. We promote it. Right. The programs that we had back east in New York and Pennsylvania are amazing for responsible gaming, and so we made sure. Look, the Marker Trax falls in line with everything that we're doing. In fact, it honestly. And enhances the responsible.
It probably could help you flag some behaviors you might not catch, well, you definitely wouldn't catch in a cash scenario.
That's right. And when someone hits a taxable jackpot, it pays the balance back immediately. Right at the game. So that is another enhancement to responsible gaming. And then also you can't walk with the funds.
Well, that was what Gary. I never thought of it. So again, never run a casino. Certainly don't own one like he does. But he goes. We saw a guy take $500 or $1,000. I can't remember the exact number. He goes, just go, thanks, guys, and then left.
That's
like,
right.
Don't know what. Maybe he's paying the babysitter. Maybe he's buying pizza. We don't know. But like that was not what you intended, right? You did not intend for him to do that. So now you go, well, you got to stay with me. So it's a little bit in house, and then to your point, pays back if you win.
Yeah, look, I was in a very competitive micro market at GVR, right? So we had the same players that were playing at the M, South Point, Silverton. And they would take our credit sometimes and just go and pay the balance off at the other places because they owed them money,
that's
right?
Past due. Yours is now fresh.
Yeah, and so Marker Trax prevents that. You can't walk. There's no money. There's no it's cashless. You can't walk out the door with it. So it's huge for the operator that way.
Yeah, that's nice. So you gave us some interesting casino stories, but do you have any fun gambling stories of your own? Like whether it's you playing or somebody that came in from just a gamble, not gunshots in the valet, but more like maybe it's a $2 million guy. Anybody stack $1 million on a hand or something wild? Or
yeah, that was a lot of fun watching him play. He actually lost his line in 45 minutes. I was quite impressed with that. Actually.
Light $2 million on fire in less than an hour.
Look,
was it MC Hammer? No, I'm just kidding. Like,
rather not say.
No,
but
don't name names. There's probably some rules there.
Look, he was a gracious loser, and you could tell like he lost what he could afford.
Yeah,
to
he
lose,
was.
So
that wasn't a problem for him. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I've had some incredible fun nights myself. Just going out to like one of the coolest things were living in Philly was I lived in South Jersey, 30-minute drive to work and 45-minute drive to Atlantic City and the ocean, and that was I'm a desert guy, right?
Sure,
Palm Springs, Vegas, that's all I've known. So to be able to just drive to the ocean in 45 minutes, that was impressive. And so we went out to Hard Rock one night, and I'm a video poker guy, so I'm playing $2 video poker and popped 4 aces with a kicker, and that was awesome. Okay, now I got a bankroll.
Was that $8,000, something like that?
Huh?
Was that $8,000 or
Yes.
something?
It depends on what you're playing. $2, $1.50.
He said $2.
Oh, you're playing. Triple double.
I was gonna say we've been there.
Yeah. So now I got some bankroll. Right now, let's have some fun.
Now it's their money.
And I was with a group of guys, and they were all hitting all of the video slots in the high limit room. And I just walked right up. They were playing some Dragon Cash, and they kept losing their money. And I said, "No, guys, this is how you do it." So I just dropped in one ticket. I think it was $500.
Yeah.
And played at MaxBet, which was
like you do.
Yeah,
that's it. MaxBet. Got a hammer.
Just one spin. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. One spin. Hit the bonus round. Boom, another $8,000. Just in one spin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like okay. Yeah, so that was probably the most. Now
everyone's just touching you, trying to be lucky. Like, okay, Justin's on fire tonight.
Yeah, they're looking at me like this guy is a slot guy. Like,
he knows.
He knows what to do. Like,
that's when you're happy. You're 6'8", walking out into the parking lot to your car with $16,000 in your pocket. I'm getting security to walk me out.
Yeah. He is security. Yeah. Security is smaller than us. That's what I always laugh about. Sometimes you go to security and they look up. They're like, "Are we going to be good here, man? We're there. We don't want to fight. Like, we don't have problems. Like, you're fine. We're gentle giants." Is my guess.
That's
right? So,
100%. Yeah, that would be a problem sometimes with me. So if a guest would call and say, "I want to talk to the general manager," I'd come up and talk to him, and they said, "I don't want any trouble. I just want to talk to the GM." I said, "No, I am
that's
the GM."
Me. Yeah.
They're thinking I was talking to security or something.
Had to stop wearing all your rings. Look like brass knuckles. It was getting a little aggressive. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've had a lot of fun experiences. A lot of them here in Vegas as well, and some not so great ones. Worked at Boulder Station, Boulder Highway, Graveyard.
That probably prepared you for Philly, though.
It
Maybe
did.
a little. I mean, it's not probably the same. I don't know, but similar.
Fiesta Rancho was the most. So I worked there for about 6 months, and I'd say that was the most comparable to the clientele and to the team members and all that. That I experienced in Philadelphia. Upstate New York was wonderful. Let me tell you, because it was close to the Saratoga race course. Great location, beautiful setting, right on the river.
Say True Seasons up there. Like I just went to a wedding in I don't know, it was just outside Albany, and it was like, wow, this is what the puzzles are made of in fall.
Yes.
Right. So you see all the fall changing. I'm like, this is what it should be. You don't get that here, right? No. It just goes from like regular to brown in a hurry. But like, that's pretty cool.
Now you did get the cold.
That's true.
Winter. There was a week when I was working there where the high was 1. For the week.
I'm like, 1 what? Oh, 1? Yeah.
1 degree.
1 degree over 0.
Yeah. So you're looking at, fast moving rivers that just completely freeze over, and you're thinking, God, how's that even possible? So, But yeah, it's been a phenomenal career. I've been, I wouldn't change a thing. It's been fun.
So real quick, I just had one other question, kind of outside that, like with the Marker Trax thing. Where do you think we are with the adoption of cashless? What are we missing? What are you excited about? Just cashless as a whole. Like, do you see it starting to take off? Or
I do, and it's because the technology keeps advancing.
Yep.
At first it was very cumbersome. Like a lot of places would advertise that they had cashless wagering.
Sure.
You go and get set up, and it doesn't work. So and that's the worst thing that can happen, right? Because the consumer has to have confidence in everything they do.
Yep.
And if they go to utilize the product and it's complicated, and first of all, you got to remember they're handing over the bank information and everything, and then the product doesn't work. So that to them is just like, okay, well, I'm never trying that again.
Right.
So now that the technology is evolving and it's becoming more efficient with the sign up process and easier and less cumbersome, and you don't have to throw a million PIN numbers at it, that's going to build the consumer confidence. And quite honestly, they're going to see that as an avenue approach to avoid, again, I keep saying it, but those ATM fees. And also being able to have the ease and look, people love Amazon. Why? Because there's no cash involved. It's easy. Just jump on your phone and order stuff. Well, once we get to that point with cashless in the casino environment, that's when it's going to take off. That's when it's going to be huge. And there are things in development to try and get us there. Some people are even duplicating the process of an Easy Pay ticket just on your phone. That's pretty impressive, right? So that's the right avenue of approach, and it's only going to grow.
Yeah. Cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I'm good on questions. You got any?
I think so. I guess the only other question we didn't ask is who else should we chat with? So we used to do called the MaxBet Challenge. So we said, we didn't know you. Carol, I default called you out. She knew you well. And who do you think we should put in that seat in the future?
Man.
Bonus points if you can actually introduce us, but you don't have to know that.
I would probably say Chris Justice.
Pavilion Payments.
Cool. I would say he would be a very good person to talk to about it.
Awesome. Yeah, he's been engaged on social media with us a little. I'm sure. I don't know.
Well, he's been called out now.
I guess. Yeah. So, Chris, you're doing it, buddy.
Yeah, he'll do
Let's
it.
Let's go. Yeah,
I'm
awesome.
sure.
Awesome. Well, Justin, we appreciate your time, and this has been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we'll look out for some big news coming from you at some point with all the investments you're hopefully working on, and maybe we'll have you back to talk about them once they're public.
I'd love to. It'd be great.
Appreciate you, man. Cheers.
All right, thanks.